Hey friends, Dan, Annalise, and Angela here from Genesis Reptile Rescue. We've had a crazy busy year, so we've sort of been neglecting some of our social media accounts, especially YouTube. And we're going to try and do a better job going forward here, post a little more regularly, get some more photos of our critters posted on there, both our ambassador animals and our adoptable animals, and the animals in the reptile house here. We're also planning on posting some care guides and some more educational content. So stay tuned to see more things coming, but we thought a good way to kind of kick that off would be to share some of the things that we picked up at Tinley this year. We literally just got home from the Tinley Reptile Expo, and we wanted to share some of our new friends with you guys.
So to start us off, we've got this tiny little baby. You guys probably can't even see it on camera, but I promise there is a little tarantula in here. And this is an Arizona blonde, and I can never say the scientific name.
I can butcher it. It's the Aphanopelma chalcodes.
What he said. So anyways, we have a adult one, but
they're a really slow growing species though.
So hopefully this little guy or girl will grow up and you guys will be able to come see her when you, him, her, whatever, when you guys come to the reptile house. You want to share what you got?
Alright, I got a not really little jumping spider, kind of big jumping spider. A peach phase jumping spider, I assume that's what it's called. And she's a really big female, and we've tried jumping spiders before in the past, and it's been a while, so I think we're gonna try again.
She's really cute. Mm-hmm. And then we also have one of my bucket list species for tarantulas, kind of hiding back here. It is a Brazilian red and white. That's really hard to say. And you gonna help me with that scientific name again?
This one I really don't know.
Vitellius chromatus.
Yeah, there we go.
We're gonna go with
something
that.
like that.
So this one is a little bit bigger than the tiny little baby, but still pretty young. So it's in there. That guy will be getting permanent housing soon, and I'm not touching the next thing. You go right ahead.
Well, I guess you'd call it a bucket list invert. For me, and it was a bucket list one, not because they're necessarily incredibly hard to find. They're not real common, but you can find them. They're not terribly expensive. It's just Angela is scared to death of them.
Nope.
It is a camel spider, and I'm not even going to attempt the proper name on this one, but it's one of the fuzzy varieties, the hairy varieties of the camel spider, which are super cool, and they're actually not a true spider, and they've kind of gotten a bad reputation. Because they're not a true spider, they are a type of an arachnid, but they're not a spider. They don't have any venom. They do have big jaws that can inflict a really painful bite, but they don't have any venom. They have a bad rap for chasing people, but that's because they live in really hot desert climates and they chase shade. So they are trying to hide in your shadow or under your boot if they see you out in the desert. So they've kind of gotten a bad rap, but I think they are a beautiful and fascinating species. So I'm really excited to have him or her as part of the collection.
I will tolerate it. All right, so these guys. These guys are in a gummy worm container because the container that they were sold to us was not escape proof. And one of them went on a little adventure in the car on the way home. So we had to stop at a gas station and find a more suitable container. And as you can see, they are currently trying to escape.
We did wash out, put air holes in.
Yes, yes. They didn't eat the gummy worms. But these guys, we have two species here. So these are millipedes. And this one here is a desert species. And then these guys are, and I forget the scientific names for them, but this is a Texas brown or a Texas chocolate, I think. These guys are super, super cool. Something I've been really fascinated with over the last couple of years. Some of the species that we had been keeping are really short-lived. These guys are actually like 7 to 10 year life expectancy. So hopefully these ones will be around for a little while. We've got a couple of each of them. So you guys will get to see them if you book a show with us or come do a reptile house tour. And the next one,
Close them up.
so you want to close them up so they don't escape. I am not going to pull out. This is a bucket list lizard for me. Never really thought I'd get one. Did not plan on bringing one home from Tinley. But this is a Leachianus gecko baby. And he or she is a little bit freaked out. Like Dan said, we did just get home, so we haven't even gotten these guys in their enclosures for quarantine yet. But definitely wanted to share with you. This one's going to be fun to watch grow up.
Sure. They are the largest of the gecko species. So
I'm excited. I was excited to bring him home, whatever. We'll figure that out later.
and say, do we know?
That one was unsexed, so we do not know. You want to share that one?
Yeah. So, one of the animals that I was looking for at the expo was a hognose snake. And I had a kind of limited budget, so I was expecting just to get like a normal or something not super cool, or
They're all kind of cool.
yeah, they're
Not
all,
a fancy morph.
yeah,
though.
not like a super fancy morph, but I got this little guy for in my budget, and he is a red albino superconda, and he is really pretty.
Yeah. I'm sure the camera doesn't do him justice.
Yeah. The reason why he was marked down in price is because he has a tiny little nub tail, but I don't care about that.
And it doesn't affect anything with him. He's just not suitable for breeding, so
And we don't plan on breeding them, so it wasn't an issue for us.
he'll be a really cool little pet and hopefully a fun ambassador animal. Let me show your
My other snake.
next one. And I'm not sure if you guys are noticing, but we are kind of going up in size. So we've got some cool stuff here.
Hi, dude.
I'm going to share a little bit about this one, and then you can finish up. We were not planning on this one. Like, really none of these we were really planning on, but we knew we've wanted hog noses. We knew we were considering getting some inverts. The gecko, the lychee, was kind of a surprise, but this guy, we just wanted to get a picture with Dave Kaufman. And we came home with another ball python.
Yeah.
So I'll let you share the rest.
So, at Dave Kaufman's booth, there was a little spinny wheel where if you spun it, you got free prizes and stuff. And one of the prizes were these piebald ball pythons. And I tried a few times, and then we were like, you know what? We're just going to end up wasting our money. And we just went on and bought one. And this is a little boy. He is a orange dream piebald ball python. And I've already named him. His name is Pumpkin Spice.
Produced by Dave Kaufman.
And he's
so.
probably another one that the camera just doesn't do justice.
Yeah, really
he is a really pretty piebald.
Yeah.
Alright.
And I know our adult male, normal piebald, Pie, has sort of become the star of all of our educational events. Everybody loves Pie. Even my mother-in-law, who does not like snakes, loves
She loves
Pie,
Pie.
the piebald ball python. So we have hopes that Pumpkin Spice here will win the hearts of many, just like Pie does.
He's a cute little guy. The next one here was definitely not on the list.
I mean, it kind of was.
Yeah,
It was on the bucket
It
list.
was on the bucket list, not on the
Not
bring
on the
home from
Tinley
Tinley
list.
list. Definitely not.
And this is one that, up until recently, I really didn't think was even a possibility.
Yeah.
First, well, up until, I don't know, 4 years ago or so, I didn't even know that they existed. And then I didn't think we would ever be able to afford one. But due to efforts in captive breeding, they have become a lot more popular in the hobby here recently, and they've become a lot more reasonable in price. My favorite snake species in the world, the one that I think is just the most beautiful species out there, is the reticulated python. I have just always loved the reticulated pythons, even before I really knew what they were. It was just that one really pretty snake. What is that? Retics and some of the various morphs that are common in retics, I just thought were the most beautiful snakes in the world. But the fact is, one of the things that we often teach is that reticulated pythons, for most people, really don't make good pets. They're the largest snake species in the world by length. You can get a cute little retic at a pet expo, but it's going to grow to be possibly 25 feet, 250 plus pounds. It'll get big enough that if when you're holding it and it gets spooked, it could hug you to death. You have to get farm animals for them. They require a huge enclosure. They have massive poo. They just take a lot of work, and they can be dangerous to a point if you're not careful. They're not something to be feared. They're just large enough that you need to respect them, and they just don't make good pets for most people.
Use caution when you're handling.
So I was really excited when I learned about dwarf and super dwarf reticulated pythons about 4 years ago. But at that time, they just seemed kind of unattainable. There was something that I thought was really cool, but it just didn't seem like something that was in the realm of possibility of ever getting one. But like I said, in recent years, they've become a lot more available. They've become a lot more reasonable in price, and due and large to the work of those over at Reach Out Reptiles, which was where I really wanted to get one someday if I ever got one. Well, opening night of the expo, actually it was the first night during vendor setup. Yeah. We had VIP passes, so we're able to go in and get kind of a preview. And we got talking with Joe over at Reach Out Reptiles. And Joe, the sales manager over there, was able to help make that dream a possibility. And that was when we met this little tiger, super dwarf reticulated python. We haven't quite settled on a name for him yet. And he's just a baby. He is about 5 or 6 months old. But based on the size of his parents, rather than getting between anywhere upwards of 16 to 25 feet, rather than getting 250 pounds, he's going to get probably around 6 or 7 feet long. He is going to be significantly smaller than a mainland reticulated python, making him a much better pet animal to have, making him a lot easier to care for as well, and allowing us to really give him an enclosure size, an environment that he can really thrive in, which is important to us here at Genesis. So we are really excited about him. We're also excited about some possibilities to come that we'll share maybe a little bit more on in the coming months, about some possibilities for some more future partnerships there. But we really look forward to seeing this little guy grow. We still have to go through the quarantine period. It's tough. But once he's out of quarantine, we hope to post more pictures of him and his setup, and just you guys can kind of watch him grow with us over the years. And eventually, in a few years here, he will probably start joining us on our educational tours. So stay tuned to see what else is yet to come, and we hope to see you guys more often here going forward. If you are interested in a reptile house tour, please reach out to genesisreptilerescue.org. If you're interested in what adoptable animals we have available, reach out to that same email. Or if you would like to have us come do an event for your school, your homeschool group, your scouting troop, your church, birthday parties, libraries, whatever it may be, we would love to come and share and introduce you to some of our ambassador animals and share a little bit about the joy there is in keeping, but also in the important role that each and every one of them plays in their ecosystem. So stay tuned, and we'll see you later.
Bye.